around it, it's going to pick up little points, okay, using my polar. Okay, so I'm going to start my line here. And as I move up, I'm going to turn my ortho on so it's nice and straight. As I move up, when it gets near that, now it's actually not doing it because my little snap, I started my command again. My little tracking guy is gone. So I'm going to bring him back, and as I go up now, bink, I can go over and then I can do what I want. Now, maybe I want to come over here. Watch what happens. Put a marker in. Now watch when I come across. Bang, it's going to grab that. Going to come down. Maybe I want to go over this way. I'm going to put a marker on this guy, and then as I move back and you can see the dashed line, click, I can go up and over. Okay, so there I was able to start a line from here, go up, which would be parallel to the end point of that, or offset from that, come across any number of distance, go up, and then come over again by the end point of this in the X direction, come straight down towards it, over just off of that point. Okay, and that's how we use our object tracking. We lay in these little markers. Okay, and we can use combinations of markers, for instance. Okay, I can start a line here, and I'm going to start maybe from somewhere arbitrarily out here. I'm going to put a marker in there and a marker in there. Look what I'm getting here. I'm getting, that would be to the virtual intersection of those two lines. Okay, there's actually the intersection there. So what it's doing is these markers are providing various geometry for me because I've left markers there. If you don't want the marker there and you want to delete it, you go back and you touch it, the marker disappears. Okay, I want to start over. I'm still in my line command. I'm going to put a marker here this time. I'm going to go put a marker here, and now look, I'm getting different geometry, okay, based on those points. If I want to renew my markers, again, I haven't clicked anything. You just pause over top of it. Leave your mouse button off, and now I've cleared my markers. Okay, object tracking down in here. Right-click, settings. Okay, polar tracking, we're going to talk about in a second. Object tracking settings, track using polar angle settings. Or you can track orthogonally only, but we want to track using these settings. Okay, so so what you're basically doing, just in summary, with polar tracking, if it's on, okay, you can lay in markers, and then you can find the base points using those. Very underused tool. Okay, object tracking and object snaps, laying in your markers. Whenever you draw anything and you want to, don't click on it, just lay a marker in. Lay a marker in, and then watch those lines move around, those dashed lines, and then you can click and draw what you want. Okay, so object tracking, and then we've got our polar tracking in here, and polar tracking lets us draw at whatever different angles we want. So we can turn our polar on, for instance, turn my snap and object track off, snap, and click on here. Now as I draw, you'll notice that I'm getting different angles. Okay, angle 30 there. Okay, angle 45. It looks like it's set on 15-degree increments. 60. Now as I'm going up, I can just type in 5 feet, enter, and it's going to go 5 feet in that direction. I can work my way over here and say, okay, I want to go 2 feet in that direction. Now I can work my way down here. Okay, I can say C for close. It would close. We don't want to do that. But as you can see with my polar, I can drag. I'm not clicking anything, and it's giving me all of my different angles. And that's controlled inside of here. Right-click, settings, polar tracking, increment. There you go, 15 degrees. Additional degrees. I want it to increment at 15 degrees and at 27.5. That's not every 27.5. That's just at 27.5. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to draw a line as I'm drawing. Okay, I'm going to get my angles. Look at my angle. There's 30 degrees. Okay, and there's my 27. It's saying 28, but it's not giving my decimal. But there's my 28, and then it's going to go back to 15, right? work its way around. Okay, so it's easy. Just really get in, have a look at these settings inside of polar tracking, have a look, see how these work relative to last element or absolute. Okay, there's a very good toggle right there for your polar angles. So relative to last element might be your answer, or absolute angles. Okay, very good. Object snaps, dialog box in here, okay, turning things on and off. You can also hit help down in here and get some good information. We've got our snap and our grid, which is the where it increments your whole screen, and you can go in and use that maybe to draw. It depends. I know circuit boards or PNID type things would take advantage of that. Also, we have options in here, but we can access something in here. I'm going to go down, right click in here, for instance, or say Format or Tools, Options. And inside my options, we're just going to have another quick look at another dialog box in here. We've got drafting settings, so how our snaps are showing up with our markers and stuff like that, and how big things are, and how your aperture size and object track settings. So there is some more settings in here in our format options under drafting, so you can control the sizes of these different markers and stuff. So this is more stuff. Again, you can go in and help, and it'll give you information on this particular stuff right here in this dialog box. And that's the difference between this help, is it knows where you are, and it'll zoom into that area. So we've got this dialog box, and we've got our dialog box that we can get when we right click in here, and we've got our object snap toolbar, and we've got, again, don't forget about our tab key to toggle between snaps. If I draw a line from somewhere and my snap is on, and I get near here, I can hit tab, 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 and then if I go over to this guy and start hitting tab, okay, so tabbing will toggle between the different snaps that are available in your snap settings. Okay, again, with your function keys, F9, I put stickers on my various keys, for instance, F8 for ortho and F3 for object snap off and on. I have a little marker on there for that one. Coordinate system numbers, that will be showing up down in here, and I don't have mine turned on right now. I'm just going to turn that on, and these are numbers in here, okay, and that's F6 I'm talking about in here. So when we're drawing, as you draw, you can type in L for line and click a point, and notice that my coordinates are grayed out. I'm going to hit F6 again, and it's going to give me relative coordinates from where I'm at, and F6 again is going to give me real world coordinates, X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z, and so 3 settings while you draw. F3, I'm hitting F6. F6 coordinates toggle. Okay, F2 is our flip screen. We hit F2 and it toggles us back and forth, and we can see what's been going on. Of course, we can go back and we can scroll all through here and see what we've been doing for the last while. And you can do cut and paste, and you can save information if you're kind of trying to keep a journal of what you've been doing. So that's F2, and then F1 we know is our help for Microsoft products. And that concludes our lesson on object snaps, grid, polar tracking, coordinate system, flip screen, and our object snap tracking.